Performing plastic surgery, the patient has some protective plastic coverings on the pickups. I'm coming in to remove those. Sweat. And yes. Oh, touch and go there for a minute, but operation successful. It's alive! Our first word today is legato. Legato is an Italian word that means tied together, but in music it means smoothly and connected. If I have some notes in a melody, say A, B, and C, there's a few ways I could play through these notes. I could play them with long gaps between them. I could play them with shorter gaps between them. Or I could play them with no gaps at all, so that each note ends exactly when the next note begins. These notes sound more smooth and connected, right? That's legato. Now, in order for it to sound legato, though, it's not just about the timing. You also have to play the notes kind of softly and at the same volume as each other so it sounds really connected. Quiz time! Does it sound legato if I pick hard? Or pluck hard? Nope. Striking the notes hard does not sound legato, even if I'm playing them with a rhythm with no gaps between them. For legato, you want to play the notes in a subtle way that actually sounds like the previous note is just continuing but changing pitch. Almost like it would sound if you sang the notes. Ah. For guitar and bass, a common way to play legato is with hammer-ons. A hammer-on is when you play a note only with your fret hand without picking, like this. The key to making the note sound with only the fret hand is to press the finger into position quickly, not just placing it on the string, but hammering the finger into place on the string. You can start by picking a note like A, then hammering on to the next note B without picking. You can play multiple hammer-ons in a row, like start with A, then hammer on to B, then hammer on to C. On the Rocksmith Plus note way, you can spot hammer-ons by their little triangles with downward pointing arrows. You can even start with a hammer-on without picking any note. This is called a hammer-on from nowhere. The opposite technique of a hammer-on is a pull-off. While hammer-ons are for playing legato ascending notes like 5, 7, 8, A, B, C, pull-offs are a legato technique for playing descending notes like 8, 7, 5, C, B, A. To play a pull-off from a higher note to a lower note, you start by fretting both fingers, then playing the higher note and pulling that finger off while the string is still vibrating so that the lower note sounds. Instead of just lifting the finger up off the string, it helps to keep the string vibrating to pull a little to the side, almost like plucking the string with the fret hand finger. Like with hammer-ons, you can string multiple pull-offs together in a row. On the Rocksmith Plus note way, pull-offs have little triangles with upward pointing arrows. You can even combine hammer-ons and pull-offs, playing a free legato melody that goes up and down, only picking the first note on every string. Oh man, what if I combine this with hammer-ons from nowhere? Now that's as legato as it gets. Speaking of, I gotta go. Legato, 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 legato. See you next time.